Hi, welcome back to Hostbox CS channel and back to Computer Architecture and Organization series. Today we are going to see the important topic called DMA, Direct Memory Access Control in COA. The previous session I explained about the part 1, part 2 followed by what are interrupts and interrupt hardware, and last session I explained about what are the interrupts nesting and also how multiple devices access with the help of interrupt successfully and interrupt nesting, and how the system handle multiple IO devices, or how the system handle how the processor handle simultaneous requests and so on, because that the topics are very important and crucial. Any university exam can expect the questions for 5 mark or 10 mark. Today we are going to see the topic direct memory access. This is also definitely any university, or if you go competitive exam, the question may come from this area, so you should be understand. I also say with some real time example for better understanding. So direct memory access. Here the session today helpful to learn the following topics called DMA, followed by the block diagram for DMA controller, and also example, real time example for just understanding. I will say don't write for exam, as well as the operation steps involved in the DMA, and also followed by advantages and disadvantages, and another method how to handle DMA means you can use another method called bus arbitration, where it consists of a centralized arbitration and all followed by distributed arbitration. Let's go for session today. Here, so DMA is a one. What is the use of DMA means? It's a one where it is helpful to access the data without involvement of CPU. Remember. So here, so still now CPU is very important, control unit, logic unit, and everything. Let's go for session today. So here is what is DMA. It's a special control unit may be provided to transfer a block of data directly between an IO device and the main memory without continuous intervention by the processor or CPU. Here the control unit which performs these transfer is a part of the IO device interface circuit. This control unit is called as an DMA controller. What is my control DMA controller? Where is a control unit which perform these transfer. That means directly transfer between the memory to the IO devices. Where transfer and also is a part of the IO devices interface circuit. Then DMA controller perform, this is called DMA controller. Here the DMA controller perform functions that would be normally carried out by the processor. For each word it provides the memory address and all the control signals. And also to transfer a block of data, it increments the memory addresses and keeps track of the number of transfers. And also the DMA controller can transfer a block of data from an external device to the processor without any intervention from the processor. However, the operation of the controller must be under the control of a program executed by the processor. That is, the processor must initiate the data transfer. Let's go for the diagram, then we come back to here. So here this is the diagram, use of a DMA control in a computer system. The question asked directly in the university, explain the working method of DMA, or what is DMA, and draw the block diagram of DMA with a suitable example. What are the question asked? Same answer you can write. Question asked in many manner, you can answer same answer. The question may asked in many manner. So you should be listen the question carefully, watch it and read it and answer it. So this is the main memory bridge processor, where PCI bus is the system bus everything, where you have a disk or DMA controller having disk 1, disk 2, and here DMA controller having the Ethernet interface like that. This is the use of a DMA control in a computer system. So let's go for here, continue here. So here, if you want to ensure the data transfer, the processor inform the DMA controller of what means starting address, number of words in the block, at last direction of transfer. Once the DMA controller completes the DMA transfer, it informs the processor by raising an interrupt signal. Remember, so diagram is important, carry minimum 2 marks. Then before going this one, let's go for the operations. What are the operations involved in the? We got to paint here. I have one diagram. Simply you can understand. So before understand this concept, let's go to the real time example. This is for understanding. The master and slave flip flop. So whatever the master say, the slave it to do it. So similarly, let's say have an example of one principal and professor. Let's assume that I am the professor and I have a lesson. I am working in a college where I have one more thing. Remember, so just I have sorry for inconvenience. So let's assume that let's say there will be let's say that there will be a principal is there. let's say they have one college. In the college, principal is working there and one more faculty working there. Okay, now let's assume that principal have lot of books here. So what happen means the now faculty is there. Poor faculty free. What happen whenever principal free, the principal give the work to the faculty, or else faculty will ask, sir, can I do a work? Get permission first. The principal and the faculty will get the permission of the principal, and principal is so busy. What are the works given for the principal? Some of the work shared by the faculty he will monitor. For example, the student want to meet him and talk, ask something, and same time some parents of the students also want to meet and talk. Means whenever principal busy, he'll get proper permission and communicate with the student as well as the parents and give the details. So remember again. So whenever the principal is so busy, the faculty get permission from the principal and act like a master. So he is like not slave, master, and do the actions and later report to the principal. Sir, I have spoken to the students. Queries I solved for principal. Sir, parents, these are queries I solved like that. Good. So similarly, here the peripheral device memory communication happen with the DMA without interruption of CPU. So here first step is what? Remember, I already told you, whenever go for why we need DMA, because it will help you to do the data transfer very fast without involvement of CPU also. That means what? It have to get the permission from the CPU. Wait for some time. After getting the permission from the CPU, it will work like as a master, like principal here in the similar to college. This example for only understanding purpose. Don't write for any university exam, please. Right. So let's assume that what are the operations happening when you go for the DMA controller. Means first step. Here the first device have to send DMA request, that is called DRQ. Okay, remember first step number 1, first device has to send DMA request. Then second step, the DMA controller send HLQ. That means what? Hold and request signal to whom means CPU. First the device get the permission, has to send the DMA request for data transfer. Data transfer or what are there? Data transfer or bulk of data transfer anything to the memory. So here first, remember again repeating, first device have to send DMA request. Then step number 2, in the DMA controller. Now what will happen here? DMA controller is there. The DMA controller send HLQ request to the CPU. Then and waits for the CPU to send HLDA. HLDA means what? Hold and acknowledge. The hold and acknowledge means temporarily act as a principal like that, giving permission. So acknowledge it. Once then step number 3. Here the CPU leaves the control over the bus and acknowledge the HLDA to the DMA controller. So after getting the acknowledgement, you have to get the, that's what is I get in the single direction. After get first DMA controller ask the permission from the CPU, then CPU giving the permission, that is called the stage of hold and acknowledgement. After that, without CPU intervention, the DMA controller act as a master and do that data transfer. Now then step number 4, now CPU is in the hold state. Now what happens? CPU is in the hold state, it will carry out other tasks. Don't think deeply. So CPU have other tasks and give temporary permission to the temporary DMA controller here. Then step number 5, the DMA controller has to manage the operation over the buses between the CPU and the I/O devices. Now DMA controller will take the data transfer from peripheral devices the memory. So there are minimum 5 steps involved in the operation of DMA controller. Step number 1, first device has to be send DMA request. Step number 2, DMA controller send hold acknowledgement HLAQ to the CPU, then and waits for the CPU to send HLDA. So don't forget, everything happened with the help of system bus only or PCI bus. Just now see in the diagram. This is for understanding purpose. Then step number 3, the CPU leaves the control over the bus and also acknowledge the HLDA signal, that is HLDA signal, and to DMA controller, temporarily giving permission. So DMA controller become the master. Then step number 4, now CPU in the hold state, it won't interfere here. Then step number 5, at last step number DMA controller has to manage operation over the buses between CPU and the I/O devices. So peripheral devices, you know, whether you may connect with pen drive or whatever, printer or whatever there, you can communicate and do the task in the computers like that. These are the points you have to remember about the operation of DMA. Let's back to PPT. So continue the advantages and disadvantages, or you can say merits and demerits. What are the advantages of DMA now? Transferring the data without the involvement of the processor will speed up the read-write task. Remember, then DMA reduces the clock cycle required to read or write a block of data. So instead of after getting the permission, you try to within the time. For example, if the task completed in 10 seconds, if you go for DMA, it may complete the task in 6 seconds. This is for this example for also understanding purpose. Don't write for exam. Then and also implementing DMA also reduces the overhead of the processor. And disadvantages, as it's in hardware unit, it would cost to implement a DMA controller in the system, very costly. Then cache coherence problem can occur while using DMA controller. So previous session I uploaded what is cache. The upcoming session I will explain cache, coherence, and also end of the unit you can discuss about the interface circuits, very big area. Now continue. Here the DMA controller always connect a high speed network to the computer bus, and also disk controller which controls 2 disks also has DMA capability and also provide 2 DMA channels. Don't forget, it can perform 2 independent DMA operations as if each disk has its own DMA controller. The registers to store the memory address, word count, and status and control information are duplicated here. At last, processor and DMA controllers have to use the bus in the inter-own fashion to access the memory. 2 steps is there here. That is, DMA devices are given higher priority than the processor to access the bus. Among different DMA devices, higher priority is given to the high-speed peripherals such as disk or graphical display device. And also here processor originate most memory access cycles on the bus. Remember, and also DMA controller can set to steal memory access cycles from the bus. That is, this interweaving technique is called as cycle stealing. So apart from if you closely look at DMA controller, one more technique called cycle stealing is there. And moreover, an alternate approach is the provided DMA controller an exclusive capability to initiate transfers on the bus and hence exclusive access to the main memory. This is known as the blocker bus mode. So as the first way is what we can directly use the DMA controller without intervention of CPU. That means get permission from the CPU and do it. One more method is that we can handle the DMA controller successfully. That's called bus arbitration, where it followed by 2 subtopics called centralized and distributed arbitration. Here also diagram is important. So here is bus arbitration. This is a diagram where the processor connected with the 2 DMA controller, where you have BG1, BG2 some signal code, and BBSY and BR. So these are mostly related to microprocessor. So try to understand what are the important points and catch it. Here processor and DMA controllers both need to initiate data transfers on the bus and access main memory. And also the device that is allowed to initiate transfers on a bus at any given time is called the bus master. Remember, so here device is allowed to initiate transfer anytime on the bus, anytime, any given time. And when the current bus master links its status as the bus master, another device can acquire the status. Moreover, here the process by which the next device is to become the bus master is selected and the bus master is transferred to it's called as bus arbitration. What is mean bus arbitration? Means the process by which the next device is to become the bus master is selected and the bus mastership is transferred to it's called bus arbitration. So the control is moved from the one place to another. Simply understand. Now centralized arbitration, what? A single bus arbiter perform the arbitration. And distributed means all devices participate in the selection of the next bus transfer. Let's go elaborately. So diagram is important. Who go for centralized bus arbitration? Here the bus arbiter may be processor or separate unit connect to the bus. Normally the processor is the bus master. Remember, processor is the bus master unless it grants bus membership to the one of the DMA controllers. And also DMA controller requires the control of the bus by asserting the bus request line. The BR means what? Bus request line. Just now see in the diagram. Based on diagram only we are going to see the explanation now. And also in response, the processor activates the bus grant 1 line. This BG1 means bus grant 1, indicating that the controller may use the bus when it's free. And also BG1 in signal is connected to the all DMA controllers in a daisy chain fashion. And also BBSY signal is 0, it indicates that the bus is busy. When the BBSY signal is 1, the DMA controller which asserted BR can acquire control of the bus. So these are the concepts. happening backside of the computers. Whenever you use the computers for printout, same time using the pen, inserting the pen drive peripheral device and viewing the document and giving the printer to take printouts and so on, and immediately after that what happen if you want to copy the document from and the pen drive to the computer. So what will happen, the backside, these are the process happening with the help of DMA controller where based on the bus arbitration method. So just understanding purpose I am saying. Then this is happening, this then here the bus arbiter sorry I repeated here. In then distributor arbitration, here all devices are waiting to use the bus share the responsibility of the carrying out the arbitration process. That means what, it does not depends on the central arbiter, and hence arbiter distributor arbitration has a higher reliability. Remember, each device is assigned a 4-bit ID number. So here you have a DMA control. One DMA control means every device have some 4-bit ID number is there. All the devices are connected using 5 lines, 4 arbitration lines to transmit the ID, and 1 line for the start arbitration signal. Then to request the bus service device, suppose you want to request service here, bus and device assert the start arbitration signal first, then places a 4-bit ID on the arbitration lines. Here this diagram. So these are deeply going to the electronic subject, so please try to understand here how the signal start arbiter signal will be there. This is the interface circuit for the device accessing IO devices. All are come under the category of accessing IO devices, where you have signal 0101 and 011 so on. You know already this digital circuits and digital gate subject, digital logical design, so you can understand, and also you have idea about EEE. So this is voltage diagram will be there. Here they want to convey about some points about the distributed arbitration. So here devices use the carrying out the arbitration process easily compared to centralized arbitration. Okay, both can be done at a time. Here device has 5 ID5 and wants to request the bus, so transmit the pattern 0101 on the arbitration lines, and also device has the ID6 and wants to request the bus, transmit the pattern 0110 on the arbitration lines. All are written based on the this diagram. Diagram is very important, so easy. Start from ARB0 followed by ARB1, ARB2 and ARB3 connected with these circuits. Let's cover some point here. Arbitration process. Here in generally what happened in the arbitration process, this is the one more method of using the DMA controller. Don't forget, here each device compares the pattern that appears on the arbitration lines to its own ID and starting with MSB, most significant bit. Then if it deducts a difference, it transmits OS on the arbitration lines for that and all lower bit positions. Device A combines ID5 with a pattern 0101 to pattern 0111 and it detects a difference at a position 0. As a result, it transmits a pattern 0100 on the arbitration lines. So like that we can compare and check the devices for data transfer. Everything happening for data transfer only, from one place to another. I hope that you understand these topics well. So I hope that you are idea about what is DMA and what are the block diagram of DMA, what are the steps involved in the DMA with the block diagram, simple way, and also why we need DMA and what kind of way we can implement the DMA in the computers with the real-time example also in the area of computer science and organization. And also these are topics definitely help for university exams as well as the GATE and some competitive exams. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, support for the channel, and any queries or any doubts you can anytime communicate with this following social media or in the post box channel name. Thank you.